What's up, guys? Welcome back to the next episode of Sports Talk with Hawk. Here we go. I am finally going to weigh in on all of the college football conundrum that is currently going on. Let's take a quick dive. I'll tell you my thoughts. And honestly, the future doesn't look great right now. And I'll explain why. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. So let's dive into this. I don't want to belabor the point too terribly much. So let's just dive into this and just talk about what potentially is going on. So right now, they are talking about what's going to happen in the 2026 college football playoff and basically beyond. I don't think it's going to change much if they get this right the first time. Do I have faith in that? Absolutely not. But they're trying to figure out how to move it from the 12 team to the 14 or the 16. Like that's where they're at right now. So the models that have been proposed, a couple of them I believe are really, really good. A couple of them I believe make the conferences fight harder and eliminate the propaganda. Eliminate the stupidity at the mic of coaches, the strength of schedule crap that has plagued college football for a very long time. And then there's a certain model that ruins college football, ruins the experience for the fan, and ruins everything about what the game is. Just ruins all of it. And there's an option that I want to bring up. It's not going to happen, but I want to throw it out there. So let's start with the two models that potentially could work. So there's a 14-team model that is being proposed, and it has guaranteed spots built into it. I like this 14-team model. Now, how this is going to work out, I'm not sure, because some conferences are starting to buck up against Notre Dame, and rightfully so. Okay, rightfully so. If Notre Dame wants to keep being a non-conference and independent in football, they're going to probably have to really make some hard decisions, because just throwing them a spot for the heck of it is probably going to stop when it comes to the revenue split and everything. There's a lot of conferences that aren't happy that the $25 million that they got last year, they just get to play with and keep themselves. So, and I understand there's not a lot of, that's not a fault of anyone, but the reality is they're taking advantage of, it's not even grandfathered in at this point. They're just taking advantage of not really being competitive with everybody else, not having a competitive schedule. So the 14-team model that has been proposed is 4 guaranteed bids from the Big Ten and SEC. Then you have 2 guaranteed bids from the Big 12 and the ACC. Then you have a group of 5, which if the Pac-12 can get themselves in, would be a part of that. Then you got the American, Mountain West, etc. The best group of 5. And then you've got your at-large bid with Notre Dame. So that gives you your 14. So it gives you your 2 at-large, best group of 5, And Notre Dame, if Notre Dame's bad, you get another at-large bid in. I like this model for a very simple reason. It keeps the pathway to the college football playoff straight and clean, and it actually really cleans it up. You could say, okay, so guaranteed, and this would have to be, okay, let's just be very honest. Conference championship games would then not necessarily be winner in, losing out. You would be in anyway. The 4 conference champions, potentially, or the top 2 ranked champions, which are probably going to be Big Ten, SEC, would get buys in the first week. This mirrors NFL playoff football. I like when you're trying to become a business. The NCAA settlement we'll get into here in a second. There is a bunch of legal ramifications with this. The NCAA settlement basically is going to give all this money. You're getting away from being college football. I mean, really, we need to stop calling it college football. At this point, it's amateur football. They're getting paid money. It's basically G League football. Like, this is no longer college football. Grades don't matter. You're not going to have anybody academically ineligible. That's all done. You can suck at school. It doesn't matter. That's just, people are going to have to be okay with this. I don't like it. I'm not okay with it at all. But this is where we're at. So congratulations. You ruined academics. But with the way that it's set up, now the proposal from some would be a play-in weekend the same week as the college football conference championship games. So you can have, in the Big Ten and SEC, the top 6 teams. Now, the SEC, they got to go to 9-game schedule. The baloney propaganda that they're trying to throw out there of why their path is harder because of being in the SEC is baloney now. The Big Ten's harder. Deal with it. Because your teams at the bottom are weaker than the Big Ten teams at the bottom. Just the reality. The Big Ten is deeper. The Big Ten has teams and coaches that can beat you in every level. If you're going to lose to Vanderbilt, you lost to Vanderbilt because, well, you kind of sucked. It wasn't good. South Carolina's really come on, which I think helps the SEC immensely. Florida, we hope, is bouncing back. But the reality is they got to go to a 9-game schedule. So everything is straight even across the board. 9-game in-conference schedule. You have the top 6 teams all play conference championship game weekend. You have 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. 3 and 4 host a home game. It's an extra game at home, not neutral site, at home. Or you do them all the same day of your conference championship game. You start at 12, 4:30, 8. 12, 4:30, and 8. You make it like college basketball's, tournament. I think it would drive revenue up. It would drive that weekend up with all of the big games playing at night, but having games to watch during the day. I think it would really help. And the winner of the 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 get the other 2 automatic bids, and 1 and 2 obviously are already in. It's exactly what I would do. 100% in the SEC and the Big Ten. Big football games played on a big weekend. It's not a wasted weekend. You don't have a bye week for the teams that are going to be playing starting the very next week because you keep rolling. You've heard me say this. I love this. I love the idea of moving Navy Army to week 0. Have them open the college football season. I have said this, and I'm going to stay on this. If college football wants to make the season shorter, they're trying to use Army Navy as a relative bye week. You can't anymore. Not if you're going to move to 14 or a 16 team playoff. You can't be running into February. It's stupid. Stop trying to run into February with your games. Play them. Move Army Navy to week 0. That is your opening game. That is your Thursday night football game, in a sense. Obviously, we play on Saturday. That is your opening Thursday night football game of the college football season. Everybody shows up. Everybody's there. It's Army Navy. It's a rivalry. It means something to the people that are in the stands, to the teams on the field, and really to the country. Army Navy is deep. And this is why you would absolutely do it. Now, the way you would set this up then for the other conferences, you'd have the conference championship game, and you'd have to decide, are you going to have a playing game for them as well? You would have to decide. Are you going to have conference championship game and then a consolation game, and the winner of that consolation game takes the second spot, or are you just going to do the 2 get in? That one I think is a little bit trickier, but you could make it work. You easily could make that work. So the Big Ten, SEC get 4 teams in, ACC, Big 12 get 2 teams in, and that then leaves you with a beautiful setup where you've got either Notre Dame is high enough and they get in plus your group of 5, or you have 2 at large, the highest group of 5, and then an at-large spot. That's the 14. In the 16 model, which I don't think is as good, but it works, you would just have 2 more at-large spots. The guaranteed spots wouldn't change, except I'd had interconference play. Now, this is not my idea. I've thought about it, but it was not my idea. I was not the first one to verbalize it. I had thought about it, did not verbalize it. So I'm not going to take credit for this. But you could have interconference play. You could have the ACC and the Big 12 each get 2.5, which means one would get 3, one would get 2. But they would play each other. So the third best team from both conferences would play each other that conference championship game weekend, and the winner would get in. I love it. I love it. Could you imagine, like this year would have been really interesting, but could you imagine Miami versus Arizona State? Could you imagine Clemson some years versus maybe a Utah? It'd be big games. And that's what you want. You want big games and games that matter. Now, there's a model. And let's get to this, because I don't like this model. In fact, okay, we're good. Something's all right. I think we're good. I don't like this model. It is the 5 plus 11. And this model absolutely kills college football, and I will explain why in one simple rule. BCS. Playoff committee. We don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want the fate of 11 teams being in the hands of bribed, paid off individuals. We don't want that. This is the dumbest idea whatsoever. The Big 12 commissioner came out and supported this idea, and I don't know why, because it screws his conference, because his conference is never good enough to be in the top 16. His conference is outrageously competitive. I am one of the ones last year that said, look out, the Big 12 will not be ranked high, but its games will be the closest, its games will be the most competitive, and it'll be one of the most fun conferences to watch. I was right. Shocker. Because the teams are so evenly matched, but they're not the upper echelon. We know this. It's not Georgia. None of them are Ohio State or Penn State. We know this. The Big 12 is outrageously competitive. You can have teams that are predicted to be first slide down to seventh, and it's by a game. One game. Like, that is what this conference is. It's an outstandingly competitive conference. But that means you're going to have losses, and you're not going to be ranked in the top 16. And you're not going to, unless you bribe and pay off people, get votes to get in the college football playoff in 11 at-large bids. The reality is, having only conference champions and the best group of 5 does not work. It doesn't work. It will never work. It takes us back. It regresses us back 5 to 10 years to everything we hated. To everything that as a fan we despised, we didn't like. And really what it does then is it really just makes teams stop playing real competition. At that point, if you put the 5+11 model in, I wouldn't be surprised if the Big Ten goes to a 8-game conference schedule again, so that they can get 4 W's for every single one of their schools, guaranteed, and then they only have to play their schools 8 games, and they can get the most. And that's what the SEC does. The SEC plays. They play South Carolina State in November. Come on. It boggles my mind how people could think this is a good idea. The SEC already frustrates everybody by having those cupcake games be slotted in week 10 and week 11, basically giving their team an extra bye week so they're ready for the end of the season. And I know what you're thinking. Well, everybody can do it. Don't give me that crap. Don't give me that crap. Out of conference games should be done in the first 5 weeks, just like is typical. Once you start conference play, it's conference play. You're playing what matters there. Your preseason's over. It's time to play dang football. I hate this model with every fiber of my being. It will be horrible. It will not help anything. And actually, with the settlement, this will make it worse. Because now the paying players will become so bad. The revenue will get so off because now you won't have at least 2 ACC and Big 12 schools making money every year. Now they're banking on being good enough and having the committee not be already bribed by Big 10 money and SEC money to be able to get in. And yes, I do not trust the committee. Money talks. Everything else walks. Let's just be real here. We know how this works. This is what it is. Okay? This is what it is. So, I hate this model. I absolutely hate this model. If you want to go 16, it's Big Ten and SEC being greedy because they think they can get a 5th team in as an at-large. It still brings in the committee, but it's at-large bids. It's 1 or 2. Not a big deal. I don't have an issue with that nearly as much. But the reality is the 14-team model, it absolutely mirrors NFL football. It mirrors what we want to have be there. And that's the important thing. It mirrors the NFL playoff system, which works. Top 2 seeds get a bye, and everybody else plays. We have this big conference championship weekend, which turns into the college football playoff championship weekend because the winners of those games are going to the college football playoff. It makes it bigger, a really big weekend, an event weekend, a weekend where football is all day long. You have an SEC and a Big Ten game early in the day. Then at the 4:30 window, you've got, the Mountain West can play there. The American Conference can play at the noon window. You've got 3 games. You could probably slot them out. You've got 3 games, 4 games. You could set this up where you've got a game at every level on each channel, every single time slot taken on a big Saturday. And it culminates with the big ones: the ACC championship, the Big 12 championship, the Big 10, and the SEC. All their championship games culminate. I think it would work. I really do. And I hope the 14-team playoff really is what gets steam when it comes down to it. The Big 10 and the ACC need to push it. The SEC, Sankey is greedy, and I know what he's doing, but I'm starting to not like his mindset. He's decided he's going to go with propaganda. He's decided he's willing to be sly and, be a weasel. So I don't like that. I never have. You guys know this. It's not something that I support. So I don't like it. Smart guy, whatever. He's being a weasel now. And that is not how we want competitiveness to come out. If you're going to be the best and you're going to claim to be the best, act like it. Now, right now, you're not. The Big Ten's owned you. The Big Ten has owned you pretty good. Notre Dame owned you last year. So, not so sure you're actually where you think you're at. Numbers don't lie. You're losing a lot. Big Ten right now, and now everything's there with the revenue. The Big Ten is going to be competing. The Big Ten's got coaches. Egos aside. And that's the big thing. Egos aside. They just play football. The teams are tougher. They play in cold weather. Why does Miami? Tampa Bay got a Super Bowl. The year after Dungy left, Gruden comes in, gets the offensive system set up. They win a Super Bowl, greatest defense anybody had seen since the Steelers. Just smashed them. Then Tom Brady comes in. That's how they win another Super Bowl. 18 years later. They normally don't make it far. Cold weather screws up Florida teams. The Colts always struggled in cold weather. They were in a dome. Climate control. Listen, you're in the SEC. You can't change where your school is. But you're not the best. You're not tough enough. At the end of the day, you're not tough enough. And that's what it comes down to. So, those are the three models that are getting proposed right now. My model, I said I was going to throw this out there, and here we go. I have a idea for reclassifying certain teams. I believe we should make a 60-team Division I college football. Whole squad. All of them. Division II then will have the rest of Division I and those in Division II that wish to stay in Division II. The FCS schools play there. The FCS schools that don't want to stay in Division II can then move to Division III and strengthen Division III. Division II would then become ultra competitive. Division I would then only have your top dogs. I am not an elitist. I don't like thinking about elitists. But this is really where I think we're heading, and I don't know how fast we'll get there. But we're heading to a time where you're going to have Division I, II, and III be restructured. And I think it needs to happen sooner rather than later, so that then you have very clear paths for a top 14 team college football playoff. It makes everything simpler. It makes everything easier. You then have two different divisions, because Division II will have some of the teams that surprise people. You'll have Division II be competitive, But Division 1 is where the money always is, and the revenue share then gets split between Division 1 and Division 2. Now, the legal ramifications, and I do want to shout out Pete Thamel for this because I have been reading a lot of stuff that he has put out. This is not going to go well. It's the legal ramifications of this is going to go, it's going to get really ugly. I don't like it. This is why I said forget about college football. Stop calling it college football. We're going to have lawsuits left and right about 18-year-olds trying to make X amount of dollars before they even play a freaking snap and prove that they can actually play football. Like, that's where we're heading, guys. I hate it. I hate it. Everybody was so excited about this house settlement, and then it happens, and everybody finally catches up to where I've been forever, going, really? I didn't think it was going to be this much of a headache. Well, yeah, the dust cleared. Everything finally cleared from all the hooting and hollering and cheering about it could be this and we could do this. And then you look at it and you go, oh, but that comes with a big price. Yeah, it does. It means 18-year-olds are going to be told by their parents, hey, go get some more money for us. You're still under my roof. You're not 18 yet. 17-year-olds, they still have a parent. They're not on their own yet. It's going to get ugly. The legal side, suing for more money, suing for this. We're going to be teaching 18 and 17-year-olds how to sue colleges and people. Yeah, because that's what we need in this country. Because that's the way to solve all your issues. Because if you don't get everything you want in life, just sue them so that they're forced to give it to you. It's not college football, guys. This is the G League for the NFL. And I hate it. The ramifications of this will probably not be felt this year, but it will be felt next year. And I don't like what potentially is coming down. The collective bargaining agreement that you guys have heard about, that they would potentially try, you've got public and private schools. You can't collective bargain across the board. This isn't going to work. And the way it's all playing out is really ugly. Everybody keeps coming up with these simple fixes. There are legal ramifications when it comes to a college, because it's still a college. Legal ramifications because it's still a college that you can't do and can do, and it's going to stop progress. The legal action will stop progress. This isn't the NFL. This is not the NFL. This isn't a board of owners. This isn't even the board of athletic directors. I am very concerned about the future of football. When it comes to the playoff, if we can get the 14 team, I think it will absolutely improve the fans' experience at the end of the season and through the season, knowing that if your team's not 1 or 2, they still have a shot. You're playing for that play-in game, conference championship weekend. And I love playing games. I love the winner go on, loser goes home games. It is my favorite. It's why we all love Game 7s. That's what it's about. Do something for the fans, because you're going to have enough stuff right now legally that's going to ruin everything else. This decision, I implore college football to please put the fans and the money that we spend on college football and the emotion and the adrenaline and everything else that gets dived into when it comes to college football. Do right by the fans. Do right by the viewer. Give us a 14-team playoff. Make it competitive. Give us clear avenues for our teams to get in, knowing what we need to do. And that's all we ask. Don't make it a committee that we can't trust. Don't make it a computer that we can't trust. Don't make it a strength of schedule that we still can't trust. Give us a clear path. Wins matter. Losses hurt. Give us a clear path. All right, guys. That is my way too long of a rant on this. It does concern me. It absolutely concerns me. Sorry about it was jumpy. I was watching my thing over here go up and down. Should have been smooth for the last 15 minutes or so. So that's going to be it for tonight. Tomorrow we're going to start a top 10 list of a couple different things. I'm going to do a top 10 series as we inch closer and closer to football season and dive into some of that. I love a little bit of personal preference and then a little bit of controversy. It always makes everything fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. And until next time for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great night.